Hey, how are we doing today, guys? It's Rocco Gigante coming at you guys with another commentary. I know I said I wouldn't be doing any more of these, but it's been 8 or so months, and so much has changed due to, the coronavirus, family shutting down, family starting up, that I felt like it was time for me to sit down, record a little commentary over some nice clips, and just address the community as a whole. And so I won't waste any more time, and I'll get right into this. Recently, I've been watching some videos, some back catalog on some of the old Gigante videos from when Geo was around. And I noticed that so much has changed from that time period, but much of it has stayed the same. And I'll get into those points later on in the video. But this community, it is very much a rinse and repeat. And I feel like so many new people have come in and they act like these big characters or these big people, but they don't realize that so many people before them have tried the same thing and they failed absolutely miserably. And so, on the note of failure, the absolute benchmark of failure, we'll get into topic number one, and that is the quote unquote excuse me, Vetrano Mafia Empire. So, many of you guys know Vetrano. Lots of you have very different views. Some of you are on Vetrano's side that are watching this, some of you are anti Vetrano. But I don't want to sit here and play some propaganda, play some bullshit. I just want to sit here and talk about the facts of the situation. So, over the last couple of months, we have seen Vetrano come back, right? And they got their commission with Lucania, and they got their commission, it has Rubino in there as well. Typical Rubino comes back for a couple of weeks, makes no noise whatsoever, and goes away. So I think the thing that I find most interesting is every time you have Vetrano come back, you have them recruit the same type of players. And I'm going to mention a specific name here. And I know when he sees this video and he hears this, because he's a little no life, he's going to get all excited. Oh, so Rocco's mentioning me. But we're going to look at Gus here. Many of you know Gus. Most recently he was in Vetrano as Mr. Vero Vetrano. But what Rob and Nero do is they go to these children, and Gus is the example here, and they go, hey, Gus, if you shoot whoever you're with, you come join Vetrano, you can come back home, buddy. And they take pride in this. But what they fail to realize is somebody like Gus is not somebody you want in your family. He is somebody that is going to leave you for a rank, and you can look for an example. He's in Valachi right now. He shot whoever he shot. He stayed in Vetrano for a couple of weeks. Saw Vetrano was on the losing side of a lot. Noticed he couldn't snake anybody, and now he's gone to Valachi. And it's this pathetic mentality of people taking pride in being a snake. Listen, at the end of the day, you look at a family like Vetrano, who's up right now. They all have what we, as Gigante, we call them temporary members. They're kids that are only there for one reason, and that's to take pride in being a snake. They're not going to be anything in the community. They're just going to be little followers. And then when Vetrano dissolves, like it always does, they're going to scurry off into little crews. And then Rob's going to come back with the allure of, hey, shoot somebody, and I'll post a little YouTube video, and you'll look really good, and they'll stay in Vetrano for a couple months and then they'll scurry off again. And it's this repeating cycle, and it's been going on since 2015. And so when I hear people who are on the Vetrano side of things try to spin it that Vetrano is above Gigante, I'm not sure if it's downright retardation or if they're just ignorant or what. But if you look at a family like Gigante and you look at a family like Vetrano, let's sit down and compare. Rob has been shot by us. Nero has been set up by us. Gus, who was a boss there, has been shot by us a ridiculous amount of times. Everybody that they put in a rank, we have shot. They don't get us. And the people that they did get, I want to remind you guys that they got these people in 2015. They haven't got Ezio since. They haven't got me. And there's 5, 10, 15 other Gigantes that I could sit here and name and say they haven't got. The fact of the matter is, they haven't got us. We have got every single one of them. And their father, or their Dom, whichever Nero's deciding to call himself this week, we set up in a meeting. He wanted to be here. Not in Vetrano, not in Rizici, none of those families. He wanted to be in Gigante because he knew the truth. He knew that Gigante was always going to be what those crews couldn't. And that is the benchmark of this community. Okay? So you look at just that point. Then you look at how long we've been up. We've been up since 2012 without shutting down. And you look at our core members. Most of my guys have been in Gigante since 2015. That is when Vetrano started. We have people in Gigante who've been here longer than Vetrano has even existed. You can't compare the two. So you want to talk about members, you want to talk about experience, you want to talk about this, you want to talk about that. The fact of the matter is, Gigante has more experience, we have loyalty, and we've always prided ourselves on quality over quantity. And obviously, the ironic thing is, I have over 80 active members rather than their social club with inflated numbers and second accounts and inactive members. Our quality has now outmatched their quantity, and that's just ironic to me. And so, the last little point I just want to get to here, and this is just why I believe this war, we'll call it, with Vincere is over. So Vetrano wanted to run their mouths in the community Discord, and they wanted to call out the Deus crime family. Those who don't know, Deus is in the Renato Commission. So naturally, if you're good at politics, if you get called out, you go talk to the other people in your commission. You know, Renato's one big family. Deus comes to us, they let us know, hey, Vetrano wants to call us out to a private free mode war for some turf. So I sat down with Deus, we talked about it, and I'll pop the rules up on here that were sent to Vetrano. And as you can see, as you know, it's up on screen, these are very fair rules. There's no real alterations. It doesn't benefit Gigante over Vetrano. It's straight down the middle, and it's how we thought we could do a fair war. We've done this so many times over the years and smacked you guys all around Los Santos, shot all your ranks. You know what? Why don't we do it again? Why don't we shut you retards, you little 15-year-old kids that don't know anything, don't know the history that this has happened before? Why don't we show the new generation exactly how this happens every time? And of course, like the little rats, as soon as they figured out Gigante was going, they scurried away. They didn't want to do it. They said Gigante was going to sit in construction. Blah, 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 excuse. When we all know the reality of the situation is they didn't want to do it because they knew they couldn't keep up to Gigante. They knew that I was going to pull all my guys in there, I was going to have them whacked in 20 minutes at most, and they weren't going to be able to contend with the giants of this community. And so, like I said, that is why this war is over. It has got to a point where these kids won't even get in lobbies with us. They won't private free mode war with us. Toronto also is refusing to come into games with us on their account. If you notice, the only time that Don Ant is in a game is when he sits inside. They had a kid named Don Vaughn who sat on another account called Plug Died, and they have Nero and Rob constantly on other accounts. These kids are to a point where they won't even get on their accounts to come into our games because they know that we will take a mop to them and fucking destroy them. They will get whacked, they'll be on YouTube, they'll be laughing stocks. Imagine you are a Don of a family and you don't play on your account, you play on another account every time you face Gigante because you've been whacked so many times by us. These kids are absolutely pathetic. And so whether it's Bugsy G Vetrano or Vasago Vetrano or however many other numerous accounts that they use, they always get caught because their members don't know how to keep their mouths shut, and so they get whacked anyways. You kids need to stop. You need to step up to the fucking plate, come into the game, and stop running your mouths on all the apps, because we all know that when it gets into the game, Renato fucking puts one in your head and it's all done. That is straight pussy, and that proves everything that we say about you guys being inadequate. The only other person who had some balls and would hop on an account was Remy, and as you can see in the little montage that I picked for the little background video, you got fucking whacked. Like I said, you kids can't compete, you can't fucking touch us. And I guarantee you I'm going to upload this video and I'm going to have kids hit me up on Discord. I'm going to have comments on this video. Now that I'm calling them out, they're going to say, oh yeah, let's do it. But you watch, they're going to say no construction. Because the thing about that is, they can't get through the lines, they can't get to me, they can't get to the ranks in Gigante, they can't do nothing. Because our guys are so well versed in how to run a free mode because we've been doing this since 2015 and I don't have those temporary ass members that they know how to hold shit down and they know that somebody pushes construction, they know where it is, they call it out, and they don't even get past the entrance. Gigante isn't about riding trends or wave riding or doing anything like that. We do our own thing, and it's always been that way. All these kids driving around in sports cars, we're still in our sports classics. All these kids want to switch their compounds every week. We're still in construction. Now, when we do come out of construction and these little retards want to sit and bank, it takes 5-10 minutes and that free mode war is over. You look at a family like Servato, every time they would play the card where they sat in the bank, it took us 5-10 minutes for Gigante to go in there, storm in there, shoot your highest rank out, have a bunch of snipers on roofs, have ARs on the ground, whack your rank, and the free mode war is over. We don't need construction, we just sit there because we're the Giants. We don't need to go attack you. If we did, it wouldn't be fun. It would be over in 10 minutes. Let's make a war of this. Let's try to extend it. We try to have fun with this shit because it's too easy if we do things the way we could. Like I said, my guys have been in this family, the majority of them since 2015. There's another minority of us that have been in this family since 2012. How many people in this community have been around that long? Not a fucking enough. Okay? And it's not just, the longevity that matters, it's the shots that matter. And you want to fucking push construction, you'll find out what kind of shots we have because you're going to get fucking dropped. And so we'll get into the next little topic here. Many of you have seen the other virus come back, Valachi. So the thing about Valachi is using this excuse. They're back to Valachi ways. Boss Mort Deus. Many of you know Mort. He put a nice 50 cal sniper into Donson Valachi's head the other day, and you know what happened as soon as that happened? I'll give it 2 seconds here before you can guess. Valachi goes off radar as soon as he gets whacked. And of course, we knew it was only a matter of time before they came back and did their whole shtick about, oh, we're going off radar. The difference is this time, the excuse is Gigante sits construction. So, my question to you is, if that's your excuse, when we're not sitting in construction, why are you going off radar? Why are you using Ghost Org? And it's the same thing that I said to Vetrano, it's because you kids can't keep up. You can't do anything to us, you can't touch us, and then once again, back to the Mr. Untouchable thing, Geo used it for a while. Look at us now. You kids literally have to break the rules in an attempt to shoot us. And the funny part is, the kids are getting whacked while they're using Ghost Org and we're on radar. How are you letting that happen to yourself? Like, sit down and realize, we can't see where you are on the map. You're pushing us. You get shot, we get the hit. And you're still off radar. How are you letting this happen to you? How did Valachi go from this rival, this family, that everybody was fighting, Gigante was fighting, we spent so many years on GTA 4 and on GTA 5 fighting them, Taylor, whatever you got to say about the guy, Taylor was at least somebody from GTA 4. At least he kept things competitive. The guy broke rules like a motherfucker, but the original Don Valachi, better known as Taylor, he kept things competitive. This fucking iteration of Valachi is pointless. We are absolutely wiping the floor with these kids. Please, Sin, I ask you, bring something to the table, because Gus isn't gonna fucking cut it, and having Sicario in your crew when he's getting whacked using Ghost Org is just straight embarrassing. It is ridiculous. And I have a lot of respect for the Valachi name. Listen, I fought those guys back in 2012. I fought them 5 years ago, and when I saw them come back, I was excited. I knew what they were going to pull, but I thought it would be competitive. I thought they'd make some moves, but they're not doing anything, and it's just ridiculous. So, just on the note of the video, and it's going to be called, I think, State of the Community Part 2. The state of the community is absolute dog shit right now. I don't know what the fuck is going on. I don't know if Gigante's just to a point now where nobody's standing against us, but it's been, what, 6 months since we've lost a free mode war. Our ranks still haven't been whacked at all during that time. And I'm not even talking about our highest rank. I'm talking about any of our actual ranks. Many of you know Gigante keeps their ranks, kind of quiet, but that's because we're about the roleplay. You didn't see fucking, Vincent Gigante in the streets yelling, I'm a boss, I'm a boss. It just didn't happen. This is about La Cosa Nostra. This is about the Code of Omerta, and that's what we're going to continue to do. But, like I said, none of these kids are shooting our ranks. None of these kids are doing anything. So, and this goes for any family out here listening, try to come up with some competitive way to fight. Because it's getting really monotonous at this point to have to fight the same people over and over. And obviously Vetrano thinks it's monotonous because they're fucking running from us. Valachi's using Ghost Org, so they must be tired of it too. If anybody can come up with, call Gigante to a private free mode war, we can do that. But the thing is, if we're going to do a private free mode war, we're not doing all these rule alterations. We're going to do these by the community rules, because us leaders of this community sit down once a month and we talk and we vote on rules and we get things sorted. There's been a groundwork for many years, and I believe that if you're going to fucking fight somebody, it should be by those rules. We shouldn't be altering it and saying, oh, no wax or push out only or AR only. Fuck that. Because we all know the only reason they want those rule alterations is because they can't keep up to us in the free modes. They know that when they get into a free mode war with us and we catch them in a game, they lose. Their highest rank gets whacked, or all their people in the game get whacked, or whatever the case. They know they can't keep up, so they gotta, flip the switches, try to switch stuff up so they can have an unfair advantage because they sit in TDMs all day and that's what they think this community is. Listen, at the end of the day, all I ask is for any of you listening to this, go back to your families. And I'm not even just talking about fighting Gigante. Talk to them about ways that you can make this community better. Because, as I said, it's getting monotonous to fight the same people and them lose all the time. Because nobody's trying new tactics. Many of you want to be on the offense all the time. Maybe you should sit in a compound. Maybe you should, wait for the people to come to you. I don't know. I know what we do works, and we're going to keep doing it. But at this point, it just feels like, it's got to a point where nobody's touching Gigante. Nobody's able to do anything. And we're just absolutely mopping the floors with these families. So, like I said, my one thing is just go to your guys in your families and talk to them. Start recruiting, these new, fresh people from, you go to AutoAim or maybe you find a post. Bring those kids into your family and stop recruiting these temporary ass idiots who aren't going to do anything for your crew. There's a lot of new families up right now because of coronavirus, and it's fucking great for this community. But you can't get stuck in the trench and the mentality of thinking that you got to go recruit these idiots. Listen, most of these people in this community, they're all talk. They don't know anything. So my advice to all of you is just go recruit new people. Bring something new to the table. Bring new experiences, new personalities, new people. Because, like I said, it's getting absolutely monotonous, with Gigante just absolutely wiping the floor with some of you families. You gotta switch something up if you want to contend with Gigante at this point. And I'm aware about how conceited that sounds and what it looks like. But all I'm trying to do is help you guys, because it seems like every couple months a family comes back and they recruit the same guys who are all about talk. You do not need to recruit within this community to succeed. It's okay to have a guy or two that knows what they're talking about, but if you're starting up or you're starting your family back up, go bring some fresh faces. Try to breed that loyalty into them, because you cannot, and I cannot stress this enough, you can't buy loyalty in this community. There's no amount of GT changes, no amount of buying stuff that's going to buy loyalty. You have to be a good leader, and you got to work on your crew, and you got to bring in the right people. Instead of bringing these temporary ass people into your crew that aren't going to be there in a month, who only want to be there because they're going to snake people. Use your heads and better yourself, because a better you and a better family is a better community. So to summarize, all I'm saying, guys, if you're in a family, try to work on it, try to better yourselves, try to get things to a better point, because like I said, this is just absolute dog shit right now. Although this community is very active, things are just not looking good. If any of you feel the need to contact me, you can contact me on Discord. My username is Mook, M-O-O-K, hashtag 001. If you want to contact Gigante Crime Family on YouTube or Instagram. If you want to contact me personally, another way to reach me is on Xbox at the gamertag Rocco Gigante. That being said, fellas, I hope you all enjoy the rest of your nights. Buona fortuna.